Hello, my name is Daniel Davison-Vecchione from the University of Cambridge, and I'm here to talk about Ursula Le Guin's Speculative Anthropology, Thick Description, Historicity and Science Fiction, a theory, culture and society article I co-authored with Sean Seeger of the University of Essex. Sean and I have long been interested in science fiction and related genres of literature, but it is only since 2019 that we have begun to explore speculative fiction in depth from a scholarly and interdisciplinary perspective. In our article, we focus on Le Guin because, as previous scholars have noted, there is a certain anthropological quality to her science fiction, at least partly due to both her parents' achievements in anthropology. Le Guin's protagonists often play the role of an ersatz ethnographer, trying to understand a radically different culture from the perspective of an engaged participant observer. We also wanted to pick up on this aspect of Le Guin's science fiction to defend her from the literary critic Fredric Jameson's influential charge of world reduction. In Jameson's view, Le Guin engages in thought experiments which involve a drastic simplification of human life as we know it, resolving social antagonisms in the form of fantasy, and in effect leaping outside the process of history altogether. We challenge this view by considering three of Le Guin's novels, The Left Hand of Darkness, The Dispossessed, and Always Coming Home, in light of the anthropologist Clifford Geertz's idea of thick description. Thick description, which Geertz adapts from the philosopher Gilbert Ryle, is the attempt to reconstruct the symbolic meaning that human actors ascribe to their activity within a defined cultural context. To thickly describe an event is to vividly render the event such that the reader feels something of what it is like to be there, and to analyse the experience through the layers of meaning the participants impute to it. In brief, our article argues that, like Geertz's ethnographic writings, Le Guin's science fiction utilises thick description to place the reader within unfamiliar but fluently rendered social worlds. At the same time, contra Jameson's charge of world reduction, by incorporating social antagonisms, cultural contestation, and historical contingency, Le Guin never allows thick description to neutralise historicity. Rather, by combining the two and exploring their interplay, Le Guin establishes a critical relation between her imagined worlds and the reader's own historical moment. In doing so, she points to ungrasped utopian possibilities within the present. In effect, Le Guin combines the strengths while overcoming some of the limitations of both Geertz's thick descriptive method and Jameson's theory of the science fiction genre. Our article builds on ongoing efforts by us and other scholars to explore the affinities between social theory and speculative fiction. By imaginatively constructing and rendering alternate possible societies, some authors of speculative fiction implicitly engage in a kind of theorizing about society, how societies function, how their elements relate to one another, how these come into conflict, how societies change, and so forth. Conversely, social theorizing inescapably involves the faculty of the imagination, including speculation about what could be. By analysing how Le Guin's fiction dramatizes the cognitive and affective challenges of entering and comprehending an unfamiliar way of life without either 1. Entirely reducing it to the reader's local idiom, or 2. Assuming that cultural differences make mutual understanding impossible, our article suggests how Le Guin's fiction might helpfully inform long-running debates within anthropology about voice, power, translation, memory, and reflexivity.